Hello, people. How's it going? Chocolate milk has no rum in it yet, but it will. Um, I'm not good at talking about politics. I can talk about political theory, political history, political philosophy, but pure politics to me, this is why I'm doing this one, because something came up that's kind of provoked me to want to do this, even though I don't like talking about politics. To me, politics is corrosive. Modern day politics is pure politics is corrosive. Today, you cannot have a discussion anymore about almost anything without some political point being made or some political anything interrupting it. Normal stuff like just TV or sports or anything. I don't do politics well. I don't find anything wrong with being political up to a point. But when you hate a country, like hating America is a political statement, plain and simple. It's become a political mantra for some people who have probably not really studied American history, but have been taught American history by people who don't like America. Now, you can have your opinion about the past. That's fine. I mean, America's made a lot of mistakes. It's also done a lot of good things. When you hate a country, you're hating its entire history, and you are to change the bad in the country. And try to right wrongs and do justice and all those wonderful cliched words that modern day political what's the word I'm thinking of? Political hacks. I'm just gonna call them political hacks right now. But I mean, to me, politics has become corrosive. It's become divisive. You literally have people who cannot function around other people who do not agree with them 100% politically on anything. I've been around them. Believe me, they exist. I don't need people to agree with every single thing I believe politically to be my friend or to be in my life. There are some people who do. They literally cannot function. They can't. I've been around them. I've lost friendships over it. And it's like, why? You can hate this country all you want, but you're not being fair. You also probably haven't been taught American history. You've been taught political American history by people who don't like this country. Has this country committed sins? Sure. Name me a country that hasn't. Name me a country that has not committed a sin on some level, that has not failed at its own principles. Has America failed at life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness? No, it hasn't. Because it's still in the Constitution, it hasn't been removed. People can still try to pursue those things in this country. Is it easy? No. You know why it's mostly hard? Because unfortunately, we keep electing people who make it difficult for people to do those things. Has America fulfilled its obligation to those things? No, not 100%. But there are enough Americans who have tried. There have been people who have put their lives on the line for other people to reach those things. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness has not gone away. All men created equal is still a valid concept. Did the founding fathers fail completely? Yeah, they did. Not completely, I should say. But they did fail. Only in the sense that they had to do what they had to do to make sure this country became the United States of America, so those principles could be put into effect. Did they compromise? Yeah. You want to talk about, look at all the compromises. Look at all the political compromises up until the American Civil War. The Missouri Compromise, the Dred Scott decision, all kinds of and you know why? Because they didn't want to deal with it. Those people did not, they did not want to deal with this problem. They kept kicking it down the road, which is why we had the American Civil War, where over almost 700,000 Americans killed each other. Don't talk to me about America has not tried to live up to its ideals, because it's tried. It's not always succeeded. It has a lot of failures, but also has a lot of successes. This idea that hating America is somehow a positive virtue is not honest. You're not being honest historically. You're not being honest with the people who've come before you, who've actually done something. You're ignoring their lives, their sacrifices. Politics, to me, is a personal thing, and it should be a personal thing. It should be about what one treats other people. I don't have a strong political philosophy, other than all men are created equal and the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's it. That is my philosophy on what politics should be, not government. Government is the problem. It really is. People keep electing big governments as if they're going to solve the problems, and they don't, and they never do. The idea that somehow we hate this country enough we're going to change it. Yeah, have you ever read about the French Revolution? Because that's pretty much how some of you sound. The problem is that no utopia or perfect government is ever perfect enough. There's always going to be that group that's just not perfect enough, so let's have another revolution. I told you I'm not good at politics, people. I'm sorry. I don't like talking about politics because it literally divides people who really have no business being divided. It makes you hate a country or a people or anything else just because they don't agree with you on politics. When you die, guess what? Your politics is going to mean nothing. God does not care about your political standing. This may come a shock to some of you people out there, and I know who you are. God does not care about your political standing. If you really believe in the sovereignty of God, as some of you keep spouting away, He doesn't care about your political opinion. I really do believe that some of them are waiting around thinking they're going to get patted on the back for having a wonderful political opinion. And God's going to look at them and say, I don't care. Me, God, you puny human, your politics means nothing to me. I created the universe. You're dirt. So I don't talk about politics, people. I just find politics in the modern era particularly corrosive, destructive, divisive, evil, mean-spirited. It's like we cannot get along unless we agree with every single thing the other person is saying. Nonsense. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, America has had its problems. America has not lived up to 100% every single time its own principles. Welcome to real life. I know that's shocking to some of you people, and you know who you are. I know that's shocking that the government wasn't perfect when it was founded. And they had to compromise. And they had to do this, that, and the other, which they probably may have been able to figure out a way around, but I don't think they could have. Unfortunately, the compromises they made in the very beginning of founding of this country were unavoidable. They were just unavoidable. Sadly, tragically, horrifically, they led to a civil war that ripped this country apart. America actually was not the United States of America until after the Civil War. Because in a lot of ways, the reason a lot of this happened in the southern states mostly is the southern states viewed their state as their country. And once the Civil War was over, that's when we became the United States of America. I mean, states' rights was a valid issue. The problem with the South is they tried to justify it by using slavery, which, is dumb. Because you're not going to win the argument then. Because you're not. But I don't hate this country. I will have an American flag eventually here, I promise. I just haven't found one. I mean, I do have my UK flag and my Israeli flag. But I'll have an American flag. I'm sure some people have noticed it. I'm not anti-American. I worry about this country. I'm concerned about this country because we're tearing ourselves to shreds. We're tearing each other apart over politics, over the dumbest things. This is why I don't talk politics. I'm not good at talking politics, people. I'm really not. Because to me, America is as flawed as it's been and as And as much as it has supported slavery in the southern states and did nothing about it until the Civil War. And even after the Civil War, we still had the same problems because we didn't deal with it. But not everybody didn't deal with it. There were people who did not like how African Americans were being treated before and after the Civil War. There were groups that were trying to change things after the Civil War and before it. Not everybody who was an American, lived in this country looking for a Native American to kill or an African American to enslave. But if you listen to some of these people talk, you would think that every single American ever born could not wait to shoot a Native American or enslave a black person. I hate telling you this, but that's not accurate. And I think that's part of the problem with politics. Politics today is not about history. It is not about history. It's about politics. History, if people were to study history, they would realize just how major a conflict it was between Americans before and after the Civil War and why we had a Civil War. They would realize that, not every American was the bad guy. Not every American woke up every single day saying, slaves, we have slaves. No, they didn't like it. William Lloyd Garrison, look him up. He was an abolitionist. Harriet Beecher Stowe, look her up. An abolitionist. Frederick Douglass. Whatever. But if you're going to study history, if you're going to attack America, and all you're going to do is politicize it, I'm not going to listen because you're not being fair. And you're not being honest. And you're basically not being honest, you're lying. Study American history on both sides. That's being a historian too. That's dealing with the political. To me, history and politics in this country, unfortunately, are now also being warped and twisted as history is being rewritten all over the place, or just ignored, or turned into something it's not. If you don't like this country, that's fine. You're allowed to. Guess what? That's the beauty of this country. You can hate it and not have any problems. In fact, if you hate it in this day and age, you're viewed as virtuous. If you defend this country, you're defined as the problem. Here's an idea. Study real history. I didn't learn anything really valuable other than maybe one or two teachers maybe about American history that told me anything. I had to study on my own, and I did. Yes, the founding fathers did own slaves. Guess what? Can't change it. Can't deal with it. Can't do anything about it. It's over. But, to me, politics basically does not want to deal with facts. Modern politics is about ignoring facts, ignoring history, ignoring what a lot of people did and tried to do to change this country into the country it claimed it wanted to be the country of all men are created equal, the country that life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is the cornerstone of this country. But politics isn't interested in those things. It isn't interested in facts. It's interested in emotions. And the bottom line is politics, modern day politics, particularly modern day politics, basically uses people's emotions against them by convincing them that they're being virtuous by attacking and hating this country. I don't hate this country. I feel sorry for it. I see it falling. Sorry, but I do. I think this country is headed toward a type of government that these people who think they want it are going to regret it. They seem to have this utopian idea that all they got to do is just hate this country enough and they'll be a better country. And that doesn't make sense to me either. But that's how they come across. I don't want to go too long on my rambling. I might do another video on this at some point. We're almost up to 15 minutes. But I don't hate this country. I study history to understand it. I understand the people. I understand the time frame they were in. And I accept the time frame they were in and how they were taught and what they grew up. Guess what? People in the past aren't you. And you're not them. They didn't live in the same era you lived in. You didn't live in their era, so you have no idea what you would do, or who you would be, or what you would believe in or not believe in. But if you're going to study history, if you're going to hate a country, study history. Study both sides. Don't listen to teachers. The education in this system in this country is crap. I knew this when I was in high school, and that was a long time ago. I knew I could see it coming because I didn't learn anything. Everything I've pretty much learned, about 95% of it, I'm self-taught. But anyway, I'm rambling. I don't want to go beyond 15 minutes. I may do another one of this, but not today. Maybe do something different later. Well, behave yourselves, people, because you know I won't. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. Have a good day. Behave yourselves. You know I won't.